morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline the 4th of November 2023. This week's headlines. The leader of a London jihad demonstration is an NHS doctor. Mohammed Sawalha, a Hamas fugitive based in London, praised terrorists who killed 7 Jews in a synagogue on Holocaust Memorial Day. There were scenes of Palestinian protest at Liverpool Street Station, London. In his sermon on Palestine at the Abdullah Quilliam Society in Liverpool, Haroon Hanif tells Muslims they will be a superpower if they support jihad strongly enough. The Central Oxford Mosque issued a statement after an Islamophobic attack. A petrol can with the words IDF and IDF rule scrawled on it was thrown over the gate of the mosque. A woman in the Paris metro has been shot after claiming she had a bomb and shouting Allah Akbar. There are scenes of rioting in Hamburg, Germany. A UK man who expressed his opinion on Islam was attacked by a mob of pro-Palestinian Muslim migrants, and then he was arrested by the police. A mob stormed a Russian airport in search of Jews. A French Jewish woman whose house was sprayed with the Jewish star graffiti cried, "It's the same hatred I saw as a child." The National Secular Society has urged East Lothian Council to end voting privileges for unelected religious appointees. The mother of the Israeli Jewish woman who was thought to have been kidnapped by Hamas says she is dead. Australia's Education Minister commits to continue with special religious education during normal class hours. Western Australia Councillor Victor Franco has spoken about his successful push to have prayer rituals removed from meetings at the Boroondara City Council. Christian hate preacher Aaron Thompson says there's a lot of jobs that women just can't do. We start by going to Momus, our Islamic correspondent.
Thank you, John. Hello everyone, Mohammed Najmi here with news from the Islamic world. So what do we have today? The firebrand leader of an extremist Islamic group that called for jihad at an anti-Israel protest works as an NHS GP under a different name. As head of Hizbut Tahrir in the UK, Abdul Wahid celebrated the barbaric Hamas terror attacks that slaughtered 1,400 Jewish men, women and children earlier this month as a very welcome punch on the nose to Israel. But he has also spent more than 20 years practicing as a family doctor under his real name, Dr. Wahid Asif Shaida. Last night, his shook patients in the London suburb of Harrow said they had no idea about the double life of their well-spoken, privately educated GP. Hizbut Tahrir caused outrage last weekend when members chanted jihad during a rally outside the Egyptian and Turkish embassies in London and called for Muslim armies to attack Israel. Wahid told the baying crowd, "Victory is coming, and everyone has to choose a side. Whose side are you going to be on?" Another senior member of Hizbut Tahrir, a group banned in Germany and a dozen other nations, asked supporters, "What is the solution to liberate people in the concentration camp called Palestine?" They chanted back, "Jihad, jihad, jihad." A Free Palestine rally was seen at Liverpool Street railway station. In Liverpool on 20th of October, in his sermon on Palestine at the Abdullah Quilliam Society, Haroon Hanif tells Muslims they will be a superpower if they support jihad strongly enough.
You will be the superpower. No American, no Israeli, no British army can overpower you if you're al-a'la, if you are the superior. But to be superior, in kuntum mu'mineen. Then what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Link this all back to what's going on in Gaza. Link it to Palestine. This is not just about Uhud. This is for all times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then tells us, إِن يَمْسَسْكُمْ قَرْحٌ فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُ. If you're al-qarh al-jurh, if you are wounded, and we're seeing an open wound in Gaza right now, an open wound. The hearts of the believers are bleeding because we're ummatun wahida, kal jasad al-wahid. We're one nation. If one limb feels pain, the whole body feels pain. And Palestine al-Aqsa is not your finger or your toe. It's your heart. It's your heart. It's the very core of Islam. That's why all the other oppressions have gone on. They affect the believer because we're ummatun wahida. But this is qalb al-Islam. This is Masra Rasulullah. This is no ordinary land. This is the land of Rasulullah. This is where Allah took him to take him into the heavens and beyond. This is the heart of the believers. And any Muslim, and I've heard this now, and I'm going to say it openly, any Muslim who thinks that the Palestinians are terrorists and that the Israelis have the right, and I know Muslims are saying this, you're munafiqun. You need to question your iman. If you believe that the Israelis have the right to massacre, question your iman. Which side are you on? Because there's only al-haq wal-batil. There's nothing else. There's fustatan, fustat al-iman, or fustat al-nifaq wal-kufr. If you believe that the Palestinians who are defending their homes and their lives are terrorists, then you're in the camp of kufr and nifaq and hypocrisy.
In other news, Mohammed Sawalha is a Hamas fugitive and former terror chief based in London. He recently praised terrorists who killed 7 Jews in a synagogue on Holocaust Memorial Day. He did it on Al-Hiwar, an Ofcom regulated station, who won't disclose its funders. The Central Oxford Mosque issued a statement after an Islamophobic attack on the mosque. A petrol can with words IDF and IDF rule scrawled on it was thrown over the gate of the mosque. The mosque calls on Prime Minister, MPs and politicians to stop dehumanizing Palestinians and Muslims. And in other news, a woman in the Paris metro was shot after claiming she had a bomb and shouting Allahu Akbar. She is being treated in hospital. German police face a Free Palestine protest in Hamburg. See video. A UK man who expressed his opinion on Islam was attacked by a mob of Muslim pro-Palestine migrants and then arrested by the police.
Hey, you wanted to get something in? Yes, please. I would like to say that there is a big problem in Islam. It's written in the Hadith, which all Muslims, all good Muslims believe in the Hadith. And it is written in the Hadith that Prophet Muhammad was 50 or 53 years old when he sexually penetrated Aisha.
I wasn't exactly a typical movement, was it? It was a very fun movement. You really think so? You know these people like you? You know these people like you? How old was Joseph? How old was Joseph? How old was Joseph?
That is it for me today. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Momus. A large mob shouting anti-Semitic slogans stormed Dagestan airport. Video footage on social media showed an angry crowd running through the airport in Makhachkala, seeking people arriving on a flight from Tel Aviv. The mob rampaged through the terminal, asking staff where the Jews were. Some of the crowd ran onto the runway and surrounded aircraft there. Video clips showed hundreds of people storming the airport terminal, with some waving Palestinian flags. Many in the crowd shouted anti-Semitic slogans, while others chanted Allah Akbar, God is greatest. Russia's aviation agency, Rosaviatsia, said security forces later brought the situation under control. The airport was closed on Sunday night, and on Monday, Rosaviatsia said the airport had reopened. The agency added that flights from Israel to the North Caucasus would be temporarily redirected to other cities. 60 alleged mob participants have been arrested. Israel has urged Russia to protect all its citizens and all Jews. A French Jewish woman whose house was sprayed with Jewish star graffiti cries, "It's the same hatred I saw as a child." See this video.
Je pleure parce que je vais retrouver la haine qu'on a eue pendant quand j'étais enfant. Et je comprends pas ça.
The National Secular Society has urged East Lothian Council to end voting privileges for unelected religious appointees, calling them undemocratic, unrepresentative and unjustified. The Council's Education and Children's Services Committee is made up of 12 elected members and 4 unelected members, consisting of 3 religious appointees and 1 trade union representative. All members of the committee have full voting rights on matters affecting education policy. East Lothian Council is now considering whether to remove the voting rights of unelected members and is consulting to obtain views. The Local Government Scotland Act 1973 obliges local authorities in Scotland to appoint 3 religious representatives to their education committees, at least one of whom must be appointed by the Roman Catholic Church and one by the Church of Scotland. Councils across Scotland are increasingly questioning the appropriateness of religious representatives. In August, the City of Edinburgh Council became the 5th Scottish council this year to move to end voting powers for religious representatives. Orkney Council, the Highland Council voted to remove these privileges back in May, followed by Fife Council and Stirling Council in June. Perth and Kinross Council, Moray Council and Scottish Borders Council have also removed religious representatives' voting powers. According to her mother, Shani Luke, the partygoer who was seen in the back of a truck looking broken and battered, semi-naked, and was paraded whilst Hamas men spat at her during the invasion of Israel by Hamas fighters, is now dead. They didn't find her body, but they found a part of her skull that she could not live without. According to the Rationalist Society of Australia, Education Minister Prue Carr's commitment to continue with special religious education during normal class hours will result in thousands of New South Wales public school students missing out on precious learning time as religious missionaries take over classrooms. She told Budget Estimates last week that the government would not follow Victoria's lead in moving scripture to outside class hours. See this video.
Sorry, in relation, Deputy Premier, is the Labor government committed to ensuring special religious education is available at government schools? Yes. Deputy Premier, can you rule out any changes to the Education Act? In relation to what? Sorry, in relation to special religious education being available at government schools. Can I rule out changes to the Education Act in regards to SRE? Yes, yes. I acknowledge we're not in Victoria, but I also note that that's good. Yep, yeah. Your colleagues down there shifted these lessons to lunchtime and after school hours. Can we rule out this occurring here? Acknowledge that you acknowledged I'm not the Minister for Victorian Schools. Yeah. That's a good starting point. Can I rule out changes to SRE in line with the Victorian changes? Yes. Yes. Thank you.
In an interview on 6PR Radio, Perth councillor Victor Franco has spoken about his successful push to have prayer rituals removed from meetings at the Boroondara City Council. He argued it was not right for elected representatives to have to take part in religious worship as part of their work. Christian hate preacher Aaron Thompson says, "There's a lot of jobs that women just can't do. See this video."
We're in a world today where, women are being exalted and men are being debased. And, there's a lot of jobs that women just can't do. And I'm not trying to be misogynistic or whatever, but it's just a fact. Okay. Men jump out of helicopters. Men are supposed to be the ones on the battlefield. Men are supposed to be the ones that are doing the construction work. And that's generally true. There's not a lot of sewer technicians that are, sewer clean. When I was in the sewers department, there was one homo that was in there, and that was it. And she looked more like a man than she did like a woman, but she was still lazy. Anyway, but there's certain things that women just can't do. Why? Because men are just stronger physically than women in most cases. Now I know the exception proves the rule.
Also on this channel, you can watch Tercia and I chat with guest ex-Jehovah's Witness Ben Creevy. Ben was brought up as an old Earth creationist, but now tries to help creationists learn about evolution. And don't forget to watch Views on the News, the show where our opinionated panel give their views on the news items that I've just reported on. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.